Hello, you guys. This is Josh Vision, and I'm here to give you my season 1, episode 1 review of The Witcher. So, in this episode, we have two storylines, going on, and let's talk about The Witcher first, and then we'll get to Sentry to end it. So, essentially, The Witcher has to make a choice. In the beginning of the episode, we see him go into this tavern, and there's like a great deal of people who are just like you could tell they don't like him. You could tell they're just so disgusted by his very existence due to him being a witcher and things about him being like rumored that he's like the devil, like the spawn of Satan, so on and so forth, blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? So at one point, I believe there was like six people who were trying to kill him or at least fight him at least, and the bar owner wouldn't even serve him any like food or beer when he asked for it and he had the money for it. There he meets this woman who kind of calms everybody down, and she introduces herself. And before they could get further into a deeper talk, I believe the only thing they really got to talk about was the fact that his clothing was horrible, and that despite him being a witcher, she was kind of shocked that he didn't try to change up his attire a bit. But before they get like further into like a serious talk, this girl comes, and her name's Mayoka, and Mayoka is actually was well, at least the Witcher thought she was a daughter of the guy whom he basically killed the Akimura for some reward money. But no, she was actually working for this old magician named Skagabor. Now Skagabor wanted the Witcher to meet up with him so that way they could discuss a way for the Witcher to basically do him a solid and kill this supposed demon woman named Rainfree. And Rainfree is the very same woman whom he met to begin this episode with at the tavern. But here's the thing about this whole story. The reason why Rainfree wants to kill Skagabor, why Skagabor is afraid of her, is due to some prophecy that happened or that was said 200 years previous, before this current story timeline, in the story, about 60 women like being born around like a sunburn eclipse or something, and that they would have the powers of Lilith, like the top demon like woman, and that if they are allowed to like live and grow, that they would just cause chaos, death, and destruction throughout the entire world. So he felt that he had to do something about that. So, and he also mentioned, and The Witcher wasn't buying it, by the way. He was like, yo, this is a bunch of BS. The prophecy didn't even rhyme. He was like, this story just sounds completely ridiculous. So he was like, listen, you wasn't around Witcher during that Fergus like rebellion 200 years ago. So there's a lot of things I saw, that made me look at things from a different perspective than you would. And he even joked about saying how it's funny how Witchers, like how you, a Witcher, are so emotional, considering that your people historically have been known to not be emotional at all. And he's like, well, I'm one of the last few Witchers alive. And he was like, huh, good point. Another that should be mentioned is the fact that he was saying how this is destiny. That it was destiny for the Witcher to show up to him to take out Rainfree. So, the thing with Rainfree was one of these supposed 60 women who are supposed to be this like threat to the world. So I believe that during this 200 years or so, that Skagabor has been taking them out one by one, trying to cure them. But in actuality, it wasn't a cure; it was death, like The Witcher points out. And he's like, "Listen, I had to do what I had to do." So essentially, Rainfree is a princess. She's a daughter of this king, and Skagabor tried to kill her, but it didn't work. She actually killed the guy who was sent to kill her. I believe she had her mother's brooch or something and like stabbed him or some crap through his ear, essentially. So he's afraid to God about her killing him. And he asks the Witcher once again, to help him out to kill her. But the Witcher's like, listen, evil is evil. And the guy's like, listen, sometimes in life, we have to do a little evil in order for a greater good. The Witcher's like, no, it doesn't matter. Evil's evil, dude. No matter how much less or how much more, evil's evil. This is between you and her. I'm not getting involved. It has nothing to do with the world. It's just you and her, your own little personal strife. So after this, we see the Witcher basically near the river, or like near a stream or something, with his horse, and he's talking about his first kill as a Witcher and how he protected this daughter and mother. And when he saved them, as soon as the girl laid eyes upon her, she literally like vomited, cried, and passed out. After this, we see a conversation between the Witcher and Rainfree. She mentions a few things. She mentions the fact that I think she asks him, "Did Skagabor tell you that I was raped by one of his men and that he let me go?" And then even after that, several men kept coming after me, so that's why the whole story is about me killing them, even service to begin with. Also, did he tell you that I was a princess? So basically, this conversation was basically her trying to justify like why she wants to kill him. And she even said to him that I know he spoke to you for you to kill me. And I know that you're kind of conflicted right now. But I want my vengeance, and I will kill anyone that gets in my way. So the Witcher's like, listen, I understand where you're coming from, and I understand where he's coming from. But what's done is done. Just leave Belverton, the town they're in currently, and just start anew. I'm giving you a choice. So she claims, like a little bit after this, that she made her choice and that she's going to leave the next day. So her and the Witcher get on, they sleep with each other. And then a little bit after they slept with each other, like the Witcher's like having some type of weird dream. And she's like, listen, you have to make a choice, or like you already made your choice. You know what I mean? And you have to deal with the consequences of your choice. So the Witcher wakes up and he heads towards Blaverton. And it turns out she has Maroka, like literally, with a knife to her throat. And the very 6 men who were very antagonistic towards the Witcher early in the episode, they're out and they're ready to kill him, which I found hilarious. I'm like, yo, y'all know he's a Witcher. This dude is trained in different types of martial arts and killing moves. That is so stupid for what y'all trying to do with this dude. This is going to be easy. And he just took him out like that. Blah, 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 blah. Like that. And at one point, as he's done that, he tries to offer Rainfree some mercy. He's like, listen, don't kill the girl. Just forget about it. Let's just try to move on. Let's not try to make this bloody. I don't want to hurt you, but if you hurt the girl, you're forcing my hand. So Rainfree lets the girl go, and then they fight. And they fight a really great battle, and then the Witcher kills Rainfree. And then once he kills Rainfree, all the people start coming out, looking at the whole, like, corpses on the ground from the battle. And then Skagabor comes out of nowhere. And, like, rightfully so, the Witcher is mad, saying, like, you had this all planned out, didn't you? You knew exactly what she was going to do. You knew I had no choice. You know what I mean? And Skagabor kind of turns it back at him. And since the people already naturally hate the Witcher for what he is, he's like, listen, you committed such an egregious crime in front of all these people, you Witcher. You don't care about anyone else except yourself. You're such a savage. And what I found interesting about it was that Maroka kind of, in a way, while they're pelting this dude with rocks, kind of gets in the way and is like, listen, Witcher, go. Leave this place, never come back. Now, one time is like, I think she was aware of the plan of Skagabor to do this. One time he feels, I don't think it was planned for her. I think she really does care for Geralt, but Geralt, or Rivia, like the Witcher. But I just think it's like her saying, listen, I'm trying to save your life. Hopefully we can meet again, but for now you need to get the freak out of here. So that's the end of the Witcher storyline. Now let's get to quickly the Sentry storyline. Now the girl's name is Ciri. She's a princess and the granddaughter of the queen, and essentially we see her basically playing games with her royal her royal nobles with all that stuff. We see in the episode that her and her grandmother and her grandfather have a really cool relationship with one another. But the thing which tears this family apart is a war with the Nerf Gordons or something like that. And these people are vicious. I believe at one point the queen mentions that they don't take any enemies hostage. They kill them all. Every woman, children, like everybody, like, and they take them out in the most brutal and like vicious ways. During the war, actually, when they have Ciri basically with the other Guardians, especially a guy who actually turns out to be a magician, who kind of has like a kind of block, like a field block on the castle during like the war. We see during the battle that Ciri's grandmother is gravely wounded after she tries to pursue the soldier that actually shot an arrow that killed Ciri's grandfather, and the queen's husband. So basically, we find out later that the queen actually did survive and that she's just gravely wounded. And she basically tells everybody to prepare Ciri like to leave, and that she's the future heir, and that she has to learn from this battle, and that she can't be as vengeful as the enemies that they're facing like right now. Currently. So we see Ciri basically trying to she's escaping with one of the soldiers that were assigned to her, but he gets shot through the throat. And we see Ciri basically getting captured by an enemy. And Ciri's only able to escape once she yells. And when she yells, it's like so loud, it causes something like a pillar to fall, or some type of tree, whatever, or a big ass stone, and it falls and it separates her from her captor, so she's able to escape through the woods. Now, when it comes to her grandmother, the queen, I'm trying to remember if she actually died like by getting killed, or she took some type of suicide, like poison or something. Because I remember some of her nobles taking like a kind of poisonous vial, if I remember correctly. I forgot what it was. But that's all like I got for this review. If I missed anything, you guys, I'm sorry. I'll do better next time. Thank you guys for watching my Witcher review, Season 1, Episode 1. Thank you guys, and have a nice one.